Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. It's Thursday, April 9th, 2020. And we begin with the race for the White House as clear as it's ever been. Come Election Day in November, it'll likely be Democratic challenger Joe Biden taking on incumbent Republican Donald Trump for the nation's top office. The showdown solidified yesterday when Bernie Sanders officially called it quits, paving the way for Mr. Biden to be his party's nominee. Mr. Sanders said the decision to suspend his campaign was difficult and painful, but acknowledged that continuing was virtually impossible. It's hard to believe it now, but at one point there were 29 Democrats jockeying for the nomination. The lockdown has been lifted in Wuhan. The city in central China is where the coronavirus was first reported back in December. Now, for the first time in more than 10 weeks, people can leave if they want to. And much of the world will be watching for lessons on how to slowly and safely return to some level of normalcy. Nearly 94% of businesses are back open, but there are still tough rules to keep the virus from returning. The 11 million residents of this industrial hub are urged to stay at home as much as possible, and schools remain closed. Still, there is gratitude. One resident said after the long quarantine was over, the grass looks a little greener, and there seem to be a few more songbirds outside her home. Bill Gates is known for putting his money where his mouth is. The co-founder of Microsoft just announced his foundation is building factories for all 7 of the most promising COVID-19 vaccines currently in development, even though only 1 or 2 of them will likely work. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has been focusing on fighting infectious diseases for a long time, so they have a lot of expertise in this area. And even though building factories to create all 7 possible vaccines will likely waste billions of dollars in construction costs, Gates says that having facilities ready for any one of the treatments will likely end up saving thousands of lives. The hope is to find, test, and produce an effective vaccine within 18 months, which is about the fastest a vaccine has ever been developed. We've all heard the new advice to wear a face mask to prevent spreading germs. But what about people who are deaf and rely on reading lips to understand what someone is saying? Enter Ashley Lawrence, a 21-year-old who studies education for the deaf at Eastern Kentucky University. Her solution? A face mask with a plastic window over the wearer's mouth so anyone who can't hear can at least still use lip reading for communication. Ashley and her mom have shipped masks to dozens of hospitals and deaf individuals for free, and she plans to post a YouTube DIY video to show others how to make these masks by the end of the week. Many of you probably didn't realize how much you'd miss going to school until you couldn't. For students at the University of Pennsylvania, the answer was to meticulously reconstruct the campus, block by block, with the video game Minecraft. A junior named Andrew led a group of 8 other students in recreating the university's most iconic buildings, monuments, and dorms. The creators are hoping that current students can use this space to connect and that prospective students who've had to skip in-person tours can visit virtually. Andrew and his team also included the school's football field, where they hope to stream a virtual graduation and other Penn traditions. Thanks so much for continuing to listen to our podcast, and thanks for your ongoing support in the form of tax-deductible donations. If you'd like to contribute, please go to our website, kidnuz.org. Now, today's KidNuz quiz. Who is the likely Democratic nominee for president? Joe Biden, now that Senator Bernie Sanders has officially dropped out of the race. How long was the central Chinese city of Wuhan under lockdown? For more than 10 weeks. How many factories is Bill Gates Foundation building to develop a coronavirus vaccine? 7, even though only 1 or 2 will likely be effective. What are some UPenn students doing to make up for not being at school? They have recreated the campus using Minecraft. In one for the road. Dan and Gabby, a couple in South Africa, had to cancel the wedding of their dreams because of social distancing. But that didn't stop Dan from making the day special. He spent all night before the wedding cutting out cardboard bodies and decorating them with paint and yarn to look like friends and family. The next day, Dan and his 16 cardboard companions surprised Gabby with a backyard wedding. The officiant, another cardboard body, but with a tablet to live stream the vows. Their dog, Joey, the only real attendee, was the ring bearer. It may not have been the wedding Dan and Gabby planned, but it was certainly one they will never forget. Before we go, our KidNuz birthday shout-outs go to Sunny in Highland Park, New Jersey, B in Reading, Massachusetts, Ben in Lenexa, Kansas, Adriana in Milwaukee, Oregon, David in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and in California, Karen in Alhambra, Kellen in San Diego, Charlotte in Danville, and Tyler in Pleasant Hill. And a big hello to Zach, listening from the southernmost tip of South Africa. This morning, our KidNuz teacher salutes go to Mrs. Wolf's 6th to 8th graders at Niffert Middle School in Kirkwood, Missouri, Mrs. Torado's class at Goshen Intermediate School in Goshen, New York, and Denna requested a hello to her teachers, Mrs. Gibson and Mrs. Green at Three Oaks Elementary in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Have a great day, and we hope you tune in for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.